Hurricanes, those massive, swirling tropical storms, have captured the imagination and attention of people for centuries. Their immense power, capable of carving through coastlines, devastating entire cities, and disrupting the lives of millions, makes them one of nature's most feared phenomena. To fully appreciate hurricanes, we must dive into their origins, how they develop, and why they unleash such catastrophic forces. But at the same time, these storms also reveal the beauty and complexity of Earth's weather systems, acting as reminders of both nature's fury and its delicate balance. A hurricane begins its journey over warm tropical waters, typically in the Atlantic or Pacific Oceans. In essence, it is born out of a low-pressure system, where the atmosphere becomes unstable and warm, moist air from the ocean's surface begins to rise. This is the first ingredient in the recipe for a hurricane: warmth. Specifically, the ocean water must be at least 26 degrees Celsius, about 80 degrees Fahrenheit, for a storm to gather the energy it needs. As the warm air rises, it cools and condenses, releasing heat. This process is what fuels the storm, helping it grow in size and strength. As the air continues to rise, more warm air rushes in to take its place, creating a cycle of rising and cooling that forms the storm's core. This rising air also leads to lower pressure at the surface, which further intensifies the system. Soon, clouds begin to form, and the storm starts to rotate due to the Coriolis effect, a result of Earth's rotation. In the northern hemisphere, hurricanes spin counterclockwise, while in the southern hemisphere, they spin clockwise. This rotation is what gives hurricanes their distinctive spiral shape. Hurricanes go through different stages of development. They typically begin as tropical disturbances, which are clusters of thunderstorms. If conditions are right, meaning warm waters, moist air, and little wind shear, the change in wind speed and direction with height, these disturbances can develop into tropical depressions, with winds up to 38 miles per hour. As the storm strengthens, it becomes a tropical storm, with winds between 39 and 73 miles per hour. Finally, once the winds exceed 74 miles per hour, the storm is officially classified as a hurricane. At the heart of every hurricane lies the eye, a relatively calm and clear area that forms as the storm intensifies. Surrounding the eye is the eye wall, the most dangerous part of the hurricane, where winds are strongest and the rain is heaviest. The eye wall is essentially a towering wall of clouds that encircle the eye, and it is here that the hurricane's most ferocious winds occur. Inside the eye itself, however, conditions can be eerily calm. Those who have experienced a hurricane often describe the passing of the eye as a brief respite from the storm's fury, only for the winds to return with renewed intensity as the other side of the storm passes. One of the most fascinating aspects of hurricanes is how they derive their energy. Unlike storms over land, which depend on the clash of air masses, hurricanes feed directly off the heat of the ocean. As long as the hurricane remains over warm water, it can continue to strengthen, drawing energy from the ocean and releasing it as wind and rain. This is why hurricanes tend to weaken when they move over land. Without the warm ocean waters to fuel them, they lose their energy source, and their winds begin to diminish. However, even as they weaken, hurricanes can still cause significant damage, especially through flooding. The destructive power of hurricanes comes from several key elements. First, there are the winds, which can reach speeds of over 150 miles per hour in the most powerful storms. These winds can tear apart buildings, uproot trees, and turn loose objects into deadly projectiles. The wind damage from a hurricane is often catastrophic, especially in coastal areas where structures may not be built to withstand such forces. But wind is only one part of the hurricane's destructive arsenal. Storm surge is another significant threat posed by hurricanes. As the hurricane's winds push ocean water toward the shore, the sea level rises, sometimes by as much as 10 or 20 feet. This wall of water can inundate coastal areas, flooding homes and businesses, and washing away anything in its path. Storm surge is often the most deadly aspect of a hurricane, as it can submerge entire communities under several feet of water. In some cases, storm surge has been responsible for the majority of deaths in major hurricanes. Rainfall is yet another danger associated with hurricanes. Because these storms can carry so much moisture, they often produce torrential downpours, leading to widespread flooding. Even after the winds have died down, the floodwaters can continue to rise for days, cutting off roads, isolating communities, and causing long-term damage to homes and infrastructure. The combination of storm surge and heavy rain can result in catastrophic flooding, particularly in low-lying areas or regions with poor drainage systems. Hurricanes are classified on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale, which ranks them based on their sustained wind speeds. A Category 1 hurricane has winds between 74 and 95 miles per hour, while a Category 5 hurricane, the most severe, has winds exceeding 157 miles per hour. Each category represents a significant increase in potential damage. For example, a Category 1 hurricane might cause some damage to roofs and trees, while a Category 5 storm can obliterate entire buildings, leaving nothing but debris in its wake. The regions most affected by hurricanes are typically tropical and subtropical areas, where the warm waters needed to fuel these storms are abundant. The Atlantic hurricane season officially runs from June 1st to November 30th, although hurricanes can and do occur outside of this period. The peak of the season is usually around September, when ocean temperatures are at their warmest. The Pacific has its own hurricane season, which tends to start earlier and last longer due to the vast expanse of warm water in that ocean. The United States, particularly the Gulf Coast and the southeastern states, is frequently impacted by hurricanes. States like Florida, Texas, and Louisiana are often in the path of these storms, and communities in these areas have developed extensive preparations and evacuation plans to minimize the loss of life and property. The Caribbean islands are also regularly hit by hurricanes, and due to their smaller size and lower elevation, these islands can suffer devastating damage from even moderate storms. Other parts of the world, such as East Asia, experience similar storms known as typhoons. While the names differ, typhoons and hurricanes are essentially the same type of storm, both are tropical cyclones. In the Indian Ocean and South Pacific, these storms are called cyclones. Regardless of their name, these tropical storms all share the same characteristics: rotating winds, an eye at the center, and the potential to cause widespread destruction. Throughout history, some hurricanes have become infamous for the devastation they caused. Hurricane Katrina, which struck the Gulf Coast of the United States in 2005, is one such example. The storm caused catastrophic flooding in New Orleans, where levees failed, submerging much of the city underwater. The storm claimed over 1,800 lives and caused billions of dollars in damage, making it one of the costliest natural disasters in U.S. history. The long-term impact of Katrina is still felt today, as the affected areas continue to rebuild and recover. Another infamous storm is the Great Galveston Hurricane of 1900, which remains the deadliest hurricane in U.S. history. Striking the city of Galveston, Texas, the storm claimed the lives of an estimated 8,000 to 12,000 people. At the time, there were no advanced warning systems in place, and many residents were caught off guard by the storm's fury. The storm surge inundated the island city, sweeping away homes and businesses, and leaving Galveston in ruins. In recent years, climate change has raised concerns about the future of hurricanes. Warmer ocean temperatures could potentially lead to more frequent and intense storms, as hurricanes derive their energy from the heat of the ocean. Some scientists have suggested that while the overall number of hurricanes may not increase significantly, the proportion of stronger storms categories 4 and 5 could rise. This would mean that when hurricanes do form, they could be even more powerful and destructive than those we have seen in the past. Additionally, rising sea levels, a consequence of climate change, could exacerbate the effects of storm surge. Higher sea levels mean that when a hurricane pushes water toward the shore, it will result in even more severe flooding. This is particularly concerning for low-lying coastal areas, where even a small increase in sea level can make a big difference during a storm. While we cannot prevent hurricanes, advances in meteorology have greatly improved our ability to predict and track these storms. Today, satellite imagery, radar, and computer models allow meteorologists to monitor hurricanes as they develop, often providing days of advance notice before a storm makes landfall. This early warning gives people time to prepare, evacuate if necessary, and take measures to protect their homes and businesses. Despite these advances, however, hurricanes remain one of the most challenging natural disasters to deal with. Their unpredictability, combined with their immense power, makes them a constant threat to communities in hurricane-prone regions. The best defense against hurricanes is preparation. Coastal cities and towns have implemented building codes that require structures to be more resilient to wind and flooding. Governments have developed evacuation plans and disaster response strategies to ensure that people can get to safety before a storm hits. For individuals, preparing for a hurricane means having a plan in place well before the storm arrives. This includes knowing evacuation routes, having an emergency kit with essentials like food, water, and medical supplies, and securing homes to prevent wind and water damage. For those in particularly vulnerable areas, building or installing hurricane shutters, reinforcing roofs, and elevating homes can make a significant difference in protecting against the storm's wrath. As terrifying as hurricanes can be, they are also a testament to the power and beauty of the natural world. These storms, though destructive, play a role in Earth's climate system, helping to redistribute heat from the tropics to other parts of the world. In a way, hurricanes are a reminder of the interconnectedness of the planet's system's oceans, atmosphere, and land all working together in a delicate balance.